Monday's attack on Hazelwood Terrace claiming the life of a 19-year-old woman and leaving 2 teen boys in critical condition.
That happened in the middle of the day. Totally unacceptable.
Police found 3 teens with gunshot wounds. Investigators say they had been walking down the street in their own neighborhood when they were shot in broad day.
Friends of 19-year-old Rakia Isaac emotional as they released balloons to honor her memory. Now, there are still no suspects in custody in this case.
People need to wake up, and, everybody complains about the system and this and that. Well, the people that can change it, what are you doing?
Around 5 p.m. on August 12th, Rochester police responded to Hazelwood Terrace and Denver Street for reports of a shooting. Upon arrival, they would locate multiple people suffering from gunshot wounds.
All right, do you have a total of 3 victims, son?
We're going to need AMR to expedite for one of our victims here.
ShotSpotter tipped off police, followed by a report of multiple people shot at the corner of Hazelwood Terrace and Denver Street in the city's Beechwood neighborhood.
This is a heinous act that happened in the middle of the day.
The victims were identified as 19-year-old Rakia Isaac, who was sadly pronounced dead at the hospital just hours after arriving, after succumbing to multiple gunshot wounds, just 2 months shy of her 20th birthday, and the 15 and 16-year-old boy who were both sent to the hospital with one remaining in critical condition. 19-year-old Rakia Isaac was a loving, caring, and hardworking girl who loved and cherished her family, and most importantly, she adored her 2-year-old daughter, who meant the world to her. Now her life is over, snatched away at the blink of an eye. Police quickly determined this was a targeted shooting, aimed at either the 15-year-old or 16-year-old boy. Their investigation led them to what they described as a drug house on Edmond Street. Drugs and guns is something that the Rochester area has been dealing with for years, this year in particular. Rochester Police Department's SWAT team and tactical unit executed multiple search warrants at the home being used as a gatehouse to sell cocaine and marijuana before taking 21-year-old Nazir Horton and 21-year-old Quentin Revere into custody. Both suspects in this case are believed to have been involved in several shootings in the city. Police were able to track the pair's location through their ankle monitors and would ultimately find marijuana and over 150 packets of crack cocaine ready for sale. A look into the suspect's past revealed a long criminal history for both. Horton had been convicted of second-degree assault and paroled in March of 2024 and arrested on July 24th, 2024 by his parole officers for riding a stolen moped. Has multiple prior felony convictions, including robbery, criminal possession of a weapon, and had his parole revoked several times. He is also not legally allowed to have a gun. Revere is on parole for second-degree burglary, which is a felony, and he has at least 2 prior felony convictions, including burglary and criminal possession of a weapon. He is also not legally allowed to own a gun.
Last night, Rochester Police's SWAT team and tactical unit executed multiple search warrants and took both suspects into custody. The 2 prior convicted felons with extensive criminal history faced a judge this morning. 2 suspects are under arrest in connection with the shooting that killed 19-year-old Rakia Isaac and injured 2 other teens in Rochester's Beechwood neighborhood Monday afternoon.
It was brazen, it was violent, and not only did a young woman die, 2 other young men were seriously injured, still in the hospital.
Police executed multiple search warrants at a home on Edmond Street that they say was being used as a gatehouse to sell cocaine and marijuana before arresting 21-year-old Nazir Horton and 21-year-old Quentin Revere.
Certainly a targeted attack against at least one of the 2 young men that were shot, and Miss Isaac was just walking down the sidewalk and she was hit by a stray bullet fired by the suspects.
Horton and Riviere are both charged with second-degree murder, assault, and drug possession.
We knew that this was a house that the suspects used to sell drugs. We hit it when the suspects were there, and we found over 150 vials of cocaine.
Police tell me both suspects in this case have extensive felony records and are believed to be involved in other multiple shootings in the city.
They're both on parole. So since the time they were 18, they've gotten multiple felony convictions. They've done, a small amount of prison time, and they've been paroled out.
Investigators say Horton was released on parole for assault in March, and Riviere is on parole for burglary. Both have prior convictions for weapons possession. On July 24th, Horton's parole officers arrested him for allegedly riding a stolen moped. He was charged with violating parole and released from custody. Due to the prior convictions, neither is allowed to legally have a weapon. The ADA on the case says this violence is infuriating.
Violence in the city of Rochester has been skewing younger and younger for several years now. And, it's sad that this has become commonplace in Rochester.
The family is pissed that somebody who should not have been out of jail was out of jail and took away their 19-year-old daughter who worked and was trying to live a normal life. They're pissed because they've been let down by the system who let a violent predicate felon, out of jail after he was just arrested.
Both suspects have been charged with second-degree murder, first-degree assault, second-degree criminal possession of a weapon in connection to the triple shooting, and third-degree criminal possession of a controlled substance in connection to the Edmond Street raid. 38-year-old Reynaldo Napier was found in the Edmond Street home and was also charged with third-degree criminal possession of a controlled substance. The case remains ongoing.
To be honest, a very eerie feeling.
Chaos.
Very chaos,
Christopher Sumner was going to do outreach nearby for Rise Up Rochester, a nonprofit that promotes nonviolence, when he heard what happened and rushed to the neighborhood.
Just looking around and then actually coming off the heels of what happened in Maplewood, looking at the people's faces, you see horror and fear and, okay, what's going on? But I saw a lot of young people that were hurting.
Police say 19-year-old Rakia Isaac was rushed into surgery but later died from her injuries. Officers also say a 16-year-old boy is in critical condition and a 15-year-old boy is in stable condition.
For people's lives having to be cut short, it's senseless.
It's not fair to the families. It's not fair at all.
Investigators say it appears the teens were walking down the sidewalk when they were approached and shot multiple times. It's still unclear if they were the intended targets. The shooting leaving many with questions as families and friends of Rakia mourn.
When is it going to end? And if it is stemming from retaliation, what is it going to take for it to just come to a halt?
Would you like to go through this and go through burying somebody and having somebody's picture on a T-shirt or a newspaper? Think about your own family before you do this stuff, because people are hurting.